All right, day 7. Boy, I'm in the what I call the Chateau. What was the kitchen at one point? Beautiful. It's a mess. I got to clean it up. I'm storing a bunch of stuff here, a bunch of tools. And starting the day, I'm gonna do some tiling today, so I had to come down and get all my tiles. Should be an interesting day. I have picked up a couple tiling tools since I've done so many tiling jobs. This is a really nice tile cutter, and I picked up a little bit of an electric tile saw too, and a big bucket for the grout. Now this is kind of embarrassing. I realized that I only have one spreader there. That's obviously that's for the huge tiles. So either I'll go get another one or we'll try that. Okay, I'm cheating today. Cheating. It's cold. It's cold out there. It's freezing, and so I brought in the old space heater. It was actually saying it was 9 a minute ago. Now it's 10. It looks like. Oh, it's going back and forth. Partly because it's just so cold, and I don't want to get my jacket dirty with tiling stuff. But then also partly because the tile will set up a lot better if it's warm. So here goes. Hope it's a good morning. It's coming. Now again, these look better when they're grouted. You can still see the line, but it's definitely coming. So Leslie and I had the bright idea to maybe use one of the new tiles just for the ones that are sort of covered by the edge. Can you notice the difference? yeah, that tile's coming out. No, that does not match. Okay, I generally try to save screws, and I have a very special place for screws like this. Screws like this. Yeah, the garbage. Oh my goodness, those flat screws are impossible. They strip, they don't come out, the bit doesn't stay on them. It's amazing that people use them for so many years. All right, well, this bathroom's looking like a mess right now because I'm working hard, but we got it all tiled. It looks a little rough because of course we don't have the grout, so those black lines will all disappear and it will meld in. I think we got the tiles about the right colors and the right spots. They're old, so they're not all identical. There's a little bit of variance, but it'll work good. And then of course glass will be in front of the whole thing. So well on the way. Slower than I thought. Those old tiles, I'm gonna turn around here, see, without trying to destroy you guys. When you use your cutters, my goodness, they just cut like butter. And if you try to use the snapper on the left there, they break in several pieces. So they're a little tricky to work with, the old tiles, but they're cool. But they're not as strong, for sure. So here we are in Beauj, and this is my favorite restaurant for the formula meal. Oh, the formula meal, such a beautiful thing. Winterizing to Chateau. Oh, so good. Okay, so I'm having some nice lunch. This is my favorite place, Delice by the Chateau. There is the entree. I'm not exactly sure, but it looks really good. And then of course the bread's always good too. So it's right next to the Chateau in Beauj. Lots of fun. And this is the plat, the main course. A little ham and frites and a little salad. It's nice. And dessert is always the pièce de résistance. By the way, this is the Cadre Noir. It's somewhere Saumur is only about 30 minutes away, and they have the Black Riders military horse training. It's really cool, cavalry. We've seen it once, but here's the dessert. Oh man, France does not disappoint. Isn't that great? Every time. I love the formula meal. You don't know what they're gonna offer. You come in and you like it. And it's great. Well, that was just a terrific lunch. By the way, that usually they used to be $13. They've upped their price now to $14, but still a good deal. This is nice. I noticed on one hand a good thing. They've trimmed our hedges, which is very nice. On the bad side, our little sign that Leslie made got stolen. That's kind of a bummer, eh? Someone came and stole our Château de la Grifferaie sign. In fact, it should be here. Yeah. See, it is not here. The metal thing's still there, but not the sign. Feels like the road's getting bumpier too. Here we are. I am gonna lock the gates. Usually we leave them open when we're both here, but with just one person, you're working off in some room and you just don't know what's going on, and so It's kind of nice to know that no one's gonna surprise you. I've said stuff like, hey, why don't you have someone stay at the Chateau when you're not there? And we are actually moving that way. We have a few friends that we've talked to, and so people have stayed or have planned to stay and will stay. We will do it sometimes, but it's not as simple as you think. It takes about a day and a half to figure this house out, like even just stuff like water and heating. Behind me, you see the beautiful heater we have. And I love this guy, but it's complicated. And as I mentioned, it costs $1 gazillion to run. So if you had someone stay here all the time, well, you don't want to burn $150 a day to have someone wouldn't make sense. And not only that, when people stay in your place, stuff breaks. We have a rental place in Newport, and so we've seen very firsthand, and it's not they're just being normal. When somebody's in the house, they might break a window or they might and things actually can get left open more because somebody didn't close the door properly or something. So while in one sense it is good for a house to have people in it, it's also, when you have people in it, there's a potential that more stuff breaks and there's more trouble. So there's no simple answer. We will have people staying in this place long term, and who knows, perhaps us long term. But in the very coldest months, sometimes it's better just to drain all the pipes. Everybody's asking, how does it not freeze? You just drain. We're from Canada, right? So we get this. You just drain the pipes completely of water, and then there's nothing to freeze and crack. So sometimes getting it in a good, winterizing it and getting it in a good place and then leaving it for a bit, it's not a terrible strategy. Yeah, for example, so the first week when we had our beach house, we built our beach house, and I think it was pretty much the first week we built it. We left, and the cleaners were in there after somebody, and they were running the dishwasher, and then they left and left it running, and when they came back, a valve had gotten stuck open, and water just continued to pour over my 1 week old hardwood. So you're like, Or another time we had guys that were in the upstairs bathroom, and no judging, I don't know what happened, but somebody was in the bathtub and a lot of water spilled, like a lot of water. Again, I'm not saying what's going on, but a lot of water spilled. So much that it went through the floor, into the ceiling, ran down the walls, into the electrical outlets, and so there's power's going out because the bath was so overfull. So it's not like, so yeah, there's no easy win. There's danger when you're not there. Obviously, you don't want water running into the house for a month while you're gone. But having someone live there is not the perfect solution either. We'll get it figured out, don't worry. A combination of cameras, people checking on it, and then sometimes people living in it. That was a longer day than I would have liked, but there it is. Now, again, there's no grout on these, so they look a little rough right now, but they will look good. Now, the trick is to get them, the ones on the side, you want to get them straight, and so what I did is I just used a little piece of wood and a box and some styrofoam just to kind of run across the bottom and keep it level. Again, once we have grout, that'll all kind of disappear a bit. So this one looks a little bit high now that I look at it. I'll just get that down a little bit. Yeah, so the big idea is there's a bit of a slant towards the inside. Once we put the walls on, they will sit right on the outside there. And then the water will be channeled in. So I think it's gonna work. We'll see. It'll look better once we're all done it. I know right now you're kind of like, what? That doesn't, that's kind of rough. But again, it'll clean up a lot with the grout. And once we get everything out of there. Yeah, so good day. So the bad news is it's supper time, but really I need to clean this stuff up because if we just let it sit there could be just pieces of grout that are on the floor hardening, and I don't want to wreck my beautiful tile. So unfortunately I have to clean all this stuff up now. Blech. But that's life, isn't it? Well, coming up to the end of the day, and it is nice. There's some nice things about the Chateau. It's nice to have dinner by candlelight and stuff like that. And I'm sure on a lot of levels it kind of, there's some romantic elements to the idea of owning a Chateau and doing this. But my goodness, guys, it's a lot of work. I was just sitting here having dinner and thinking, man, this is I like that we're doing this, and I know why we're doing this, and we have a good purpose. So that's what makes this all worthwhile. But this is no way to live, sitting in a big, cold house, especially by yourself, and it's kind of rainy, and you're like, I had a good day tiling. It was, tiling was going good, and I made good progress, got it done. But it's got to be grouted, of course. But then once it was already past dinner time and I still hadn't cleaned up, and I knew I had to clean up before, otherwise the grout could harden and wreck our floor. I'm just like, oh, here we go. And so, sure enough, did it. Got out there and did it. And so that's good. I'm glad I got it done. But yeah, you remember? You've ever? I don't know if you watch cartoons. Used to be a cartoon called DuckTales, and there was this character called Scrooge McDuck living in his big vault with all his money, and he'd like swim in his money and stuff. I mean, we don't have lots of money, but that's kind of how I feel in this big place. I'm just all alone, walking around from room to room. Way more space than you need. Yeah, maybe I'll just go religious for a second. Here's a trigger warning for you. The book of Ecclesiastes in the Old Testament has some incredible wisdom on money and stuff. And I actually first fell in love with it. I first fell in love with it when I was tree planting, when I was trying to save up some money to buy Leslie a ring. I think I was 18. And so went up to northern British Columbia to tree plant. And it was terrible. Like we worked 12-hour days, and I think we worked 30 days in a row. And you got paid by the tree. So, on a decent day, you could get $200, and some days 300. Like guys were, and for us, all of us, poor kids, this was amazing money. So we worked so hard going up and down the mountain planting trees. And I remember there was one group of guys in, not in our crew, but in the crew next door, that they taped a dollar bill to the door. And they would kiss the dollar bill on the way out every day. And I remember the only way I got through that, it was so hard, was going back to my tent at night, because we slept in tents. There's no bathrooms. You just kind of go behind a tree kind of thing. No showers. It was rough. And I got through it by reading the book of Ecclesiastes, because there's just such great wisdom. Like better one handful with tranquility than two with toil. That's that's one verse I think of. And the other is, I think it's Ecclesiastes 5 or 6, 5, I think. And it talks about, of course, the whole book is Solomon, who's, said to be the wisest person in the whole world. One of the richer guys in the world, has a lot of wives, has a lot of buildings, has a lot of servants, has everything. And he kind of goes on a quest for the meaning of life. And he basically finds a bunch of things that aren't meaningful. And one of them is money and stuff. Like he tries getting all these things, and he's like, and he says, he's like, what is good? What's the good of money? He goes, you can't take it with you when you die. I've seen a grievous evil, wealth hoarded to the harm of its owners. As goods increase, so do those that consume them. It's just so much wisdom. You should read it for yourself. But I mean, as goods increase, so do those that consume them. The more cars you have, the more oil changes you have to do, the more tires you have to change. The bigger your house is, the more you got to pay to heat it, the more your property tax is, more things go wrong, more flies to clean up. And so, man, if this was about money and convenience, this would be a really bad move. But it isn't about that. It's about building a place where young people can discover their world and discover their relationship with God and read through the scriptures, and that's worth working hard for. That's a life calling. And so I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm working. A little tired tonight, got to be honest. And man, a couple of cool things though. Tomorrow, I got an email from some friends in France, and they said, "Hey, we watched the videos. you need a welder." She's like, "My husband welds. Maybe we could come out and weld your mower." And I said, "Wow, that's cool." And so they may come out tomorrow. So that'll be fun if it works out. And also our friend Jeremy, the electrician, is maybe going to come too and do some work. So that's great, except that the house Chateau's a mess, and I got to clean it up. So really excited to get stuff done, but not excited to have them see it kind of in a mess. Is what it is. Hope you guys all had a good day. My day was actually good, even though I'm kind of melancholy here in the evening. And now I got to make the decision. Do I try to wake up at 2 a.m. to watch the Oregon Ducks in the Pac-12 playoff? Or do I hope that I just wake up by myself at 2 a.m.? I'm certainly not going to stay up till 2 a.m. I'm too old for that kind of stuff. But I might just wake up and watch it. I don't know. We'll see. In any case, thanks for coming with me. And hope your day's going good. I hope you are I hope you're in a home that is heated, surrounded by people that love you, and have some time to sit at a couch today and just enjoy life. Life is good. Enjoy the little things. Go to a bathroom. That's not cool. That's a beautiful thing. And and I will sit by my heater, and I'm very thankful for the heater. Okay, have a good one, you guys.